Let's talk about something that's uncomfortable because comfort is exactly what's killing most people. It's the disease of modern life. Everyone's addicted to excuses, addicted to blaming, addicted to pointing fingers at anything and everything except the person in the mirror. We live in a time where people want the result, but not the responsibility that comes with it. They want the body, but not the discipline. They want the business, but not the risk. They want freedom, but they can't even keep promises to themselves. And that right there, that's the root of why so many people stay stuck. The truth is simple but brutal. Nothing in your life changes until you take full, unconditional responsibility for it. Not partial responsibility. Not yeah, but my parents didn't support me. And not yeah, but the economy is bad. And not yeah, but people don't understand me. I'm talking about radical responsibility where everything in your life, every win, every loss, every heartbreak, every failure, is on you. Now, when I first heard that idea, it hit me like a brick, because it sounds unfair, right? How can I be responsible for things I didn't cause, for things that hurt me? But that's the exact mindset that keeps people powerless. See, the world doesn't care who's to blame. The world rewards people who fix it anyway. You can sit there and argue with reality all day long, or you can accept it and do something about it. When you take ownership, you take your power back. Because when it's your responsibility, it's also your ability to respond. That's the shift. When you stop saying, it's not my fault, and start saying, it's my problem, everything changes. Think about this: if your business fails, most people will say it's because of bad luck, bad clients, or the market. But someone operating from radical responsibility will ask, what did I not see? What did I not prepare for? How could I have handled it better? That person learns faster, adapts faster, and wins faster, because they're not waiting for life to be fair. They're making it fair by outworking, outlearning, and outgrowing everyone else. And I get it, responsibility is heavy. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, it's the weight that most people avoid carrying. But here's the paradox: the moment you carry it, life gets lighter. You start to feel free, because you're no longer trapped in blame. You're not a victim anymore, you're a creator. Let me tell you something about victims: they always lose, not because the world is against them, but because they've already decided they've lost. The second you say, it's not my fault, you've given your power away. You've made someone else the author of your story, and that's why I'll never let myself play that game, because I've seen what happens when people do. They spend years talking about what they could have been, if only things were different. But the truth is, things won't get different until you do. When I was younger, I used to blame everything. I blamed the school system, I blamed my teachers, I blamed my family, I blamed money. But one day, I realized no one's coming to save me. No one's going to hand me the life I want. If I wanted freedom, I had to earn it. If I wanted to be successful, I had to become the kind of person who could handle success. And that only happens when you stop outsourcing responsibility. You can't delegate your mindset. You can't hire someone to fix your discipline. You can't buy your way out of your own excuses. Taking radical responsibility means you stop negotiating with your potential. It means you stop lying to yourself about why you're not where you want to be, because deep down you already know. You know when you're cutting corners. You know when you're scrolling instead of working. You know when you're playing small because you're afraid of failing, and that's okay as long as you're honest about it. Because honesty is where change begins. You can't fix what you won't face, but once you face it, once you look at yourself and say, this is on me, that's the moment you gain control again. Every single area of your life transforms when you apply this. Your finances, your body, your relationships, everything. Because responsibility is the foundation of growth. Let's take your health as an example. You can blame your genetics, your metabolism, your schedule, or you can take ownership and start moving. Start eating right, start sleeping properly. You can't change your DNA, but you can change your habits. That's what responsibility looks like. Same with business. You can blame the market, the competition, the economy, or you can look at your skills, your offers, your mindset, your systems. When you stop making excuses, you start making progress. And here's the beauty of it. Once you start living like this, people notice. They trust you more. They respect you more, because responsibility is rare. Most people want sympathy, not solutions, but the ones who take responsibility, they become leaders. They don't need to shout or prove anything. Their results speak for them. So here's my challenge to you. From today, stop saying it's not my fault. Start saying it's my move, because life is a game of moves. And the ones who win are the ones who keep moving no matter how unfair, how hard, or how unpredictable it gets. That's what radical responsibility is all about. It's not about guilt or self-blame, it's about power. It's about freedom, because when you own everything, no one can take anything from you. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It's the invisible poison most people never notice sipping every single day. And the scariest part, it doesn't destroy you instantly. It kills you slowly, one easy decision at a time. Every time you hit snooze, every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow." Every time you pick the comfortable option instead of the right one, you trade a piece of your future for a few seconds of relief. And that's why most people never go anywhere. They stay stuck, comfortable, and confused about why nothing changes. See, the world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards courage. It rewards the people who are willing to step into the unknown, to do the hard things when no one's watching. Because the truth is, comfort and growth can't coexist. You're either growing or you're getting soft. There's no middle ground. Most people think pain is the enemy. It's not. Pain is the process. Pain is the signal that you're alive and improving. Comfort is the enemy. Comfort is the quiet voice that says, "You deserve to rest," when you haven't earned it yet. Comfort tells you to take shortcuts, to settle, to coast. And that voice, if you listen long enough, it will rob you of your potential. Look around. Society is built to keep you comfortable. Easy entertainment, easy food, easy dopamine. You can distract yourself from your problems without ever solving them. And that's why people who chase comfort end up anxious, unfulfilled, and lost. Because deep down, they know they're not living at their full capacity. They're surviving, not thriving. You have to detach from that. You have to stop letting comfort make your decisions for you. Detachment doesn't mean you hate comfort. It means you're not controlled by it. It means you can feel discomfort and still move forward. That's real freedom. The moment you can sit with discomfort without running from it, you become unstoppable, because nothing external can shake you anymore. You've built resilience. You've trained your mind to act, not react. When I was younger, I used to chase comfort too. I thought freedom meant doing whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. I thought success was about having enough money to avoid struggle. But the deeper I got into business, the more I realized struggle never disappears. It just changes form. And the people who thrive aren't the ones who avoid it, they're the ones who embrace it. If you can learn to love hard things, you'll win in every area of life. You'll win in business because you'll do what others avoid. You'll win in health because you'll push when others quit. You'll win in relationships because you'll face the uncomfortable conversations most people run from. Comfort tells you to stay the same. Discomfort forces you to evolve. The gym hurts, but it makes you stronger. Building a business is stressful, but it builds character. Waking up early sucks, but it gives you clarity and time. Every meaningful result in life comes from discomfort. There is no shortcut. There is no hack. The moment you accept that the game changes, here's what most people get wrong. They think discipline is suffering. It's not. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It's saying, "I want something greater than temporary pleasure." And that mindset separates the few who rise from the many who drift. You have to train yourself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Start small, take cold showers, say no to things that waste your time, delete the apps that drain your focus. These tiny moments build mental muscle. They remind your brain that you run the show, not your feelings. Because, let's be honest, your feelings will betray you. They'll always push you toward the easy way out. That's why most people live average lives. They listen to their emotions instead of their mission. You want to change your life? Then stop chasing feelings, start chasing progress. Every morning, when that alarm goes off, there are two voices in your head. One says, "Sleep in." The other says, "Get up, earn it." The voice you listen to defines your future. Detach from the need to feel good. Start doing what's necessary. That's where real peace comes from, not comfort, but control. Control over your mind, your habits, your actions. When you're detached from comfort, you start to notice something incredible. The things that used to scare you become normal. What used to be hard becomes easy. And the things that break other people don't even shake you anymore. That's what strength looks like, not arrogance, not aggression, but quiet control. The kind of control that comes from choosing discomfort daily until it becomes your new baseline. The truth is, you'll never eliminate discomfort from your life, but you can choose your type. You can choose the discomfort of discipline or the discomfort of regret. One hurts now, the other hurts forever. And that's the decision every person has to make. Do you want the pain that leads to growth or the pain that comes from staying the same? Because make no mistake, comfort has a cost. It costs you your ambition, your energy, your dreams. It seduces you into wasting time you'll never get back. The people you look up to, the ones building, creating, living on their own terms, they've mastered this. They've learned how to detach from comfort, how to turn struggle into fuel. That's why they win. So the next time your mind says, take it easy, do the opposite, go for the run, make the call, push through the work. Build that mental armor, because when life tests you, and it will, comfort won't save you. Your habits will, your discipline will, your ability to move forward when it's hard will. Detach from comfort. Detach from the need for things to be easy, because the truth is the easy road never leads anywhere worth going. If you can embrace that, if you can train your mind to find peace in discomfort, you'll become someone the world can't ignore. Because comfort makes you ordinary, detachment makes you powerful. Let's talk about obsession, because that word obsession is the line between people who dream and people who actually do something with their lives. Most people hear it and think it's unhealthy. They'll tell you to have balance, to take it easy, to not work too hard, and that's exactly why most people are average, because average people fear obsession. They fear what it looks like to care too much about something. The truth is, you can't build an extraordinary life with an ordinary effort. You can't expect world-class results with part-time commitment. Every great thing you see, every business, every athlete, every piece of art that moves the world was built by someone who was obsessed, someone who was willing to go all in when everyone else was half in. Average is the default setting of the world. It's comfort disguised as normal. It's the easy path that everyone silently agrees to take because it's safe. You don't get judged for being average. No one questions you. You can coast through life without ever being truly challenged. But here's the catch. Being average might protect you from failure, but it also guarantees you'll never feel alive. Most people say they want success, but what they really want is comfort with a sprinkle of progress. They want to be fit, but not enough to wake up early. They want money, but not enough to sacrifice weekends. They want freedom, but not enough to risk stability. That's not ambition. That's wishful thinking dressed up as goals. Obsession is different. Obsession doesn't negotiate. Obsession doesn't care about opinions, schedules, or convenience. When you're obsessed, you don't try, you become. You live, breathe, and think about your mission until it's a part of your DNA. People call that crazy, but crazy is what changes the world. Every person who's built something that matters has been called insane at some point, because the majority can't understand what it means to live with that level of focus. They measure your obsession by their laziness, and since they can't match it, they judge it. But obsession isn't about working 24/7 just for the sake of being busy. It's about alignment, finding something so meaningful that you're willing to give your everything for it. It's about waking up with fire in your stomach because you know exactly what you're fighting for. That's the difference between people who exist and people who matter. You can't fake obsession. You can't force it. It has to come from within, from a vision that keeps you awake at night, from a standard that refuses to be lowered. When you're obsessed, mediocrity becomes painful. Being good enough feels like failure. Most people live their lives playing not to lose. Obsessed people play to win. They'd rather crash chasing greatness than live comfortably knowing they never tried, and that's why they're the ones we remember. Let me tell you something harsh. The world doesn't owe you anything for trying. It doesn't reward effort, it rewards results. And results come from obsession, not interest. Being interested gets you started. Being obsessed keeps you going when everyone else quits. When I built my business, it wasn't because I was the smartest or most talented. It was because I was obsessed. I studied, failed, learned, adjusted, and repeated the process endlessly. I didn't have a backup plan. I burned the ships. Because when you leave yourself no escape, you discover what you're truly capable of. That's what obsession gives you: clarity. You stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. You stop needing validation. You stop caring about being liked. You become dangerous in the best way possible: focused, driven, unshakable. The average person lives their life trying to fit in. The obsessed person lives their life trying to stand out. One seeks approval, the other seeks purpose. And that's the real choice you face. Do you want to blend in with the noise or become the signal? Do you want to be remembered for being comfortable or for being exceptional? Because obsession isn't the enemy, mediocrity is. Mediocrity convinces you to settle. It whispers that you're doing enough. It keeps you busy with distractions instead of progress. It's the reason why people live decades without ever feeling fulfilled. If you're serious about success, you have to become allergic to average. You have to look at the life most people live and say, that's not for me. You have to set standards so high that they scare you a little, because that fear is a sign you're on the right track. Every morning, you should wake up with something to prove, not to others, but to yourself. You should look at your goals and feel a mix of excitement and pressure. That pressure is good. It's the weight that forges diamonds. Obsessed people don't wait for motivation. They build systems. They act even when they don't feel like it. They understand that consistency beats intensity, because obsession isn't a burst of energy, it's sustained focus over time. And when people tell you to relax, to take it easy, to slow down, remember, they're speaking from their limits, not yours. Don't take advice from people who have settled. Don't let the opinions of the comfortable steer you away from your purpose. Obsession demands sacrifice. You'll lose people. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose parts of your old identity. But what you'll gain: clarity, strength, fulfillment is worth more than anything you could ever lose. You're not here to be average. You're here to build something that outlasts you. You're here to push limits, to see how far your potential can go, and the only way to do that is through obsession, so don't apologize for wanting more. Don't dim your fire to make others feel comfortable. Let your obsession burn bright enough to light the path for others who are ready to rise, because the world doesn't need more average. It needs more people who are unapologetically obsessed with becoming the best version of themselves. And when you live like that, when you give your life to something bigger than yourself, you stop chasing success. You embody it. That's what obsession really is. Not madness, not ego, but purpose, expressed at its highest frequency. And once you taste that, you'll never settle for average again.